All right, so welcome everybody. Today will be a bit of a lighter agenda. I've shared that agenda in the chat there if you want to take a look. So the main topic of interest is some important Cephalocon links. So just to let everybody know, we have that event coming up. It's in Vancouver this year, and on the agenda, I linked the registration link for that. So that's probably the most important if you just want to um, register and be a part of it or be a general spectator. And then we also wanted to share the call for proposals link. Caveat, the CFP does close at the end of today um, at 11:59 Pacific time. But if anybody has any last minute things that they want to submit, such as your user story or um, a specific story you have to tell about how you've a workload you've had on your cluster or something you want to share with the community, now would be a great time to submit that proposal. So you can check out the link that I put on the agenda for that. Does anybody have any questions about that or about Cephalocon in general? All right. So yeah, if there's anything specific about that we want users to know, we'll update you on that. About specific um, talks or plans around user-centric activities, we'll update you all about that in the coming months. All right. So Anthony, did you want to share your topic?
Sure. Thank you, Laura. And just to reiterate, yeah, the CFP closes later today, Pacific time. If you need anything, feel free to message me on Slack or email me if you have questions about the topic that you're thinking of submitting. We definitely are. I'll be transparent. I feel like if we're in need of more user stories, so the more of those we can get submitted, the more options we'll have to select from. So if you have a unique Ceph story of how you discovered Ceph, how it's solved a problem in your technical space, anything of that nature, like use cases, all that stuff, it would be really great just have on the agenda. So please don't hesitate. Don't feel as if your story is not important because it definitely is. And definitely want to hear that. So like I said, message me on Slack or send me an email. I'm happy to help today, or even if you missed the deadline, maybe I can work some magic and get you in there. Can't promise anything. Just saying that out there. All right, cool. Next thing I wanted to talk about was the Ceph Foundation's user engagement strategy. Let me see, sharing my screen. Can you? Oh, yeah, I can see it. Cool, sweet. All right. So this is something that I put together. I shared it with the Ceph governing board yesterday. I thought to share it here on this call just for transparency. I'm really big on that, so that way I can be held accountable for the things that I say I'm going to do. So there's just 3 simple steps here towards just getting more user engagement and getting more exposure out throughout the community around like Ceph stories. Step 1 is we're currently in that one right now around the state of Ceph as in your organization campaign. With that, there is a survey that I put out late last week, earlier this week, just asking for community feedback, letting us know why do you use Ceph, or why did you use Ceph in the past? Why are you no longer using Ceph? What has your experience been like as a user or a developer of Ceph? And just trying to get more stories out there. There's also an option to opt in for further campaigns around sharing your story in the future. So if more people could take 2 or 3 minutes to fill out this quick survey. Be brutally honest. If you have negative thoughts, this is the place to put those thoughts into. So that way I can take that back to the governing board and we can discuss those issues and figure out solutions around some of the problems that our community members are currently facing. So step one, ongoing. I'll keep this survey going until mid next month. And then I will start working on dissecting the data I've collected and working on a presentation for that. So stay tuned. And then step two, it involves creating more like a vision board around where Ceph has been, how it came about, and where it's going in the future. Again, this is definitely something that I can use support around, just hearing more people's stories and understanding where they learned about Ceph, how it came about in their organization, and what are some of the struggles that they've seen with it. So that way we can have like a full slide deck around how to pitch Ceph within organizations and get more people involved within our organization. There's currently a slide deck around that. It just needs some work, some updates on it. So I'll be working on that over the next few months. And again, once that is live, I will definitely circle back and share that. And then lastly, Cephalocon engagement strategies and impact. Step one was around Meet the Cephers. This is an idea that I had around a blog post or like a video blog series of just people telling their stories around how they came about learning Ceph. And again, like what are some of the pain points they faced before using it and how Ceph has helped alleviate those pain points. Again, that's something that the survey will be helpful with. So again, if you're going to fill out the survey, please opt in to be a part of future campaigns so that way I can reach out to you and get your story out there so that way more people can be inspired by the things that you've been through as well. Also, during Cephalocon, I plan to do a lot of video content, asking people their stories, like while we're live on the floor. So if you see me at Cephalocon, please don't run away from me. I would definitely like to hear from you and definitely want to hear more about your story so that way we can get that out and encourage more people to go on those adventures as well. So again, the action item there, submit a paper, opt into the survey so that we can get your story out there. And I look forward to engaging with you all over the next few months and meeting you all at Cephalocon, hopefully. All right, that is all that I had. Thank you. Are there any questions? Sorry, before I run away.
Um, Hi, I have a quick question. Laura, do we still have the questions for the user story if from the last survey? If any of the users need to have a look at what questions they can answer from the survey for sharing their user story or yeah,
Yeah,
sharing the user story or feedback. It'll be great if we can share the questions.
sure. Do you want me to just share them with you later?
Sure. Or we can maybe share it with Anthony's slides
Sure.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
we still have the survey questions and we still have the results. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be cool to kind of like compare that as well. So what I'm getting like the results from this current survey, we can definitely look at previous surveys as well and see what overlapping questions there are and how things have changed over the past few months. That's a good feature to bring in there. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks to Laura for creating the survey last time. We are still working on compiling that, compiling the user stories from that with the ambassadors group, and planning. The next plan is to reach out to the folks who volunteered to share their user stories. So I think we can reach out to them if that sounds good.
Nice. Any other questions or comments, concerns, topics? All right. I'll turn it back over to you, Laura. Thank you, Laura.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. So I see there was something added on the agenda about building patched container images. Somebody want to speak on that?
Yes, that's me. I am a support person, and sometimes customers encounter bugs that need code fix, and sometimes there is even a GitHub merge request for that. And there is a very nice build with container.py script that allows one to build patched packages. So for customers who don't use containerized Ceph, I can just build, I can just git clone, git checkout, apply the patches from the pull request, and build everything with the container, and I get all the packages for the user's distribution. There is also a script that allows one to build containers. The catch is it always gets packages from the official repository on ceph.com. And there is simply no way without editing this script to use packages that the user, the support person has just built. I think this is a major hindrance in support activities, or for people who found that the bug has been fixed and there is a pull request, but they're using containerized Ceph, and they just can't build. They can build packages, but not containers.
Is this for a specific version that you're talking about?
This applies at least to Reef and Squid, and in the main branch there is also no option in the script that builds containers to use just build packages. The script always uses packages from ceph.com repository.
Okay, so
It's
if there's a
hard-coded.
fix that hasn't been released yet, you can't or you can't use packages beyond what's been officially released. Is that the issue?
Yeah, that's I cannot use packages beyond what's officially released when building container images to give to the customer.
Okay. It might be worth. I don't want to speak too much on it without having all of the information. So it might be worth creating a tracker ticket. You can just file it under the general Ceph project and link it to the agenda just to add all of your information there. But something that comes to mind is that for packages, or we build packages for fixes that haven't been released yet. It's not tag versions, but we do that through Shaman builds. So if there's really a specific thing that you want to build a custom package a custom container for, I don't know if you're aware of the Shaman packages that are built, but that might be worth taking a look at. But yeah, I mean, if it's not, we're not going to. I don't think that would be a thing that we'd want to do, to put unreleased packages on the Ceph.io, or I mean, not that the official Ceph packages site.
Yeah, basically, this still doesn't solve the problem of building containers using a locally developed patch that is not a pull request. So I think it's better to have this Shaman option documented, and also to add an option to the container build script to use the locally built packages. So not contacting the ceph.com repository.
Mm-hmm.
And actually have a patch just for that. I just need to clean it up and submit.
Okay. Yeah, I would suggest filing a tracker ticket with the issue so we have the full information, and then I can get the right person to take a look as well and see if Shaman is appropriate for this issue.
It is appropriate for issues that have pull requests, but not for locally developed packages.
Okay.
That do not have a pull request.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just need more information to fully understand. But yeah, sounds good. Yeah, if you have the tracker ticket, you can link it on the agenda so I can find it later.
I don't yet have a tracker ticket. I will file it and edit the agenda.
Sounds good. Yeah, take your time. I'll check back on the agenda, so I'm sure to see it. All right, thanks. So the next topic here, Ceph Quincy seemed to be more AWS S3 compliant than Reef plus Squid, from James.
Yeah, so just my background, mainly just Ceph consulting. I've recently been working with some engineers directly at Veeam, basically doing some testing and things like that. They had some observations that I thought were worth bringing up. Basically, the engineer that had done a lot of the testing was more familiar with Quincy, so he was doing some AWS S3 API calls and with Reef, and then later tested with Quincy, and noticed that there were some differences, specifically in this case. One of the outputs, basically coming from the Ceph RGW gateway, was like a location constraint of default, and that kind of would point back to like an AWS region. In the past, it had been null. So basically, the outcome in that case was you were forced to type in literally the word default in the region for Veeam rather than whatever you're making up yourself and putting in there. So that was one thing. And then he also noticed that when you would do operations that couldn't actually be handled, normally you would get a little bit better feedback of what the thing was. So for example, he tried to delete a bucket that was not empty, and the default AWS S3 API call would return an error that the bucket was not empty when calling that operation. But yet when he did it with Ceph, he just got an error back of argument of type none type is not iterable. And then he showed a couple of other things where instead of it being descriptive, it just gave that same error basically every time. I actually haven't really worked with Quincy, so I have to take him at his word that it used to be, I guess, a little bit more S3 compliant. So I'm just bringing this up here to, maybe this was an active decision at some point. It's basically Reef and Squid, and I'm also can definitely open up a bug tracker on this. But was just curious if anybody happened to know if there was a background of basically why it seems like more modern versions of Ceph are a little bit less S3 compliant in those aspects.
Yeah, note from Casey in the comments or in the chat, tracker issues with more detail would be great.
Okay. Yep. Definitely can do that. And I've definitely got the Veeam engineer was actually very gracious and basically gave examples one-to-one. So I actually have a pretty decent list of things that we can use as a reference.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great. And if you could also include specific versions of Reef versus Quincy, that might also be helpful. Yeah, any details that you have on hand would be great to include in the tracker issue. And yeah, we have Casey right on the call from the RGW team. So that's great to. I don't know, Casey, if you have any initial thoughts beyond just needing to see the tracker issue, but good that we have you.
Nothing specific about these issues. I would say that new releases try to improve compatibility. So if we've regressed in some areas, then tracker issues are how we would deal with them. Thank you.
Okay. I definitely have the Reef and Squid versions. It might take me a couple days, email response and stuff to get what Quincy versions that Veeam Engineer was accustomed to. But I'll get that information as well and get a tracker submitted in the next couple of days.
Awesome. Yeah, and same as the previous issue, if you want to link that on this agenda, that will make it easier for us to find the exact issue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So I don't see anything else on the agenda, but since we have some extra time, we can have a bit more of an open forum. So does anybody else have any thoughts or questions or things they want to report? Not hearing anything, so we'll assume everybody's having no problems. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, if last call for any questions, anything else anybody wants to bring up? All right, I think we can end there then. And yeah, remember, biggest thing is remember that the CFP for Cephalocon ends today, 11:59 Pacific time. And yeah, we'll look back at this agenda for the two tracker issues that we've asked the two of you guys to file. So thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your month and see you next month.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.